It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles. Like, this disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't care. I just don't want it. I don't want it in my life.
In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent. Recently, they even started adding moaning and groaning sounds to the V2K and started putting actual creaking sounds directly in the walls to make it sound as though people are having sex. And I would or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes. Specific foods or things like flowers. Severe sleep deprivation plus so much torture day and night has completely exhausted me and debilitated my muscles. I have seen significant muscle weakness and flaccidity since 2015. Additionally, I experience frequent planted dreams and dream manipulation. For years, it has been all about survival, literally recording showing this unusual form of repeated and often severe torture. This is not something some ointment works at reducing the pain at all, even at its mildest levels, much less at its most profoundly extreme levels. It feels as though you're having your teeth extracted with no anesthesia repeatedly, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow." And this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day I also observed her gasping for air a few times and sneeze excessively to threaten more sexual assaults. I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would. I also have had a couple of kids that experienced zaps of pain to their hands as they covered the sore spot with their other hand, saying, "Ouch." While the V2K in my head talks about masturbation, they talk about masturbation frequently and other sexual things. During one session, I observed one of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grab his crotch and lean forward in his chair. And then he made a frightening grimace of severe pain. I asked him what was wrong and if he needed to use the restroom, but he said no to having to use the restroom and was not able to verbalize anything more due to his language delay. He looked puzzled and bewildered. Even though I had stated that it was time to do more work right before this incident, I quickly just let him play another game, and he quickly returned to his joyful, happy self again. In other sessions, he has also grabbed his crotch and said, "Ow," while looking up at me.
Chicago. I'm a targeted individual for six.
My name is Amanda Mittler, and
My name is
Targeted Individual Day. I am a victim of
Myrtle Blakeney, and I live in Kansas City, Missouri. I've moved from California, and I am a targeted individual. God bless you.
Will allow us to sleep, or we'll be walking around all night dealing with muscle spasms.
I'm a victim of organized
We
stalking,
need this to stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment, microwave torture.
Our Defense Department, we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Derek Robinson.
Any part of the body. This technology can be used to sexually manipulate the target. It can make the target feel sexual arousal, or it can sort of turn off the target's sexuality altogether. It can
and tracked in real time. It can literally stop your own thoughts from happening and replace them with other thoughts by sending thoughts to your head. And it's so sophisticated that you cannot tell where these thoughts are coming from. There's no way to discern that they're coming from somewhere other than your own mind. So you can imagine how bad this would be for people that don't even realize this technology exists.
Listen guys, PXG Spring Collection has got you covered with all the essentials. First for me is this athletic fit polo and this.
When did you first experience being stalked and targeted like this?
The first time I experienced it is when I was walking down the road. People started to follow me.
Because if you're a TI, you're in an assassination program.
It's like a worst nightmare that you know you end up waking up from.
Trying to explain this in a way that's understandable.
I've got moving implants attached to my skeleton, enabling me to be controlled remotely.
Beyond point one is unsafe.
I've got stuff in my body because I've had beeps going off inside my head.
Any normal person would go, are you all right? Do you know what I mean? Are you sure that you're feeling all right? Because you're talking crazy.
An estimated 10,000 people around the world are all reporting the exact same terrifying experience.
Electronic harassment, synthetic telepathy, voice-to-skull technology. Chances are you haven't heard of these terms, but after searching the internet, I found dozens of websites dedicated to the phenomenon, residents who say they're victims.
We are TIs, targeted individuals.
They say they're being monitored, manipulated, and even tortured.
This is not a joke. This is not science fiction.
Because people know nothing about mind control. They don't know that your thoughts can be
create sex slaves, honeypot.
can be changed.
Through the internet, they've validated each other's experiences, and a community has formed.
We're not having a group hallucination.
Because I've had beeps going off inside my head.
Any normal person would go, are you all right? Do you know what I mean? Are you sure that you're feeling all right? Because you're talking crazy.
An estimated 10,000 people around the world are all reporting the exact same terrifying experience.
Electronic harassment, synthetic telepathy, voice-to-skull technology. Chances are you haven't heard of these terms, but after searching the internet, I found dozens of websites dedicated to the phenomenon, residents who say they're victims.
We are TIs, targeted individuals.
They say they're being monitored, manipulated, and even tortured.
This is not a joke. This is not science fiction.
Because people know nothing about mind control. They don't know that your thoughts can be changed.
people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them, I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me, all of the slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags, etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravated the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion. The people
disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre.
Remember,
it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
Sexual conduct. This is one employee of the CIA had sexual contact with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. Not sure what actions, if any, were taken by him. One contractor arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. I think that you mentioned that, posing as a child.
The people
get shot in the face, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voice to Skull, it's a bunch of females, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back and allow that to go on? You really think that?
A notch. They turn it down a lot to make it appear as though the thoughts in my head are actually mine, which I know they aren't most of the time, because these people are very perverse, and they have hatred towards targets for some reason. I don't know. Could be racially motivated.
One saying that joke. This is a serious.
No, that person's probably drinking.
No,
too. I'll be drinking, like I was drinking my coffee. There was some comments probably have Belize in it, and that's why I was so excited when they called out for my drug test. It's like, okay, Belize is like it's like, I forgot it's like Irish. It's like a creamy alcohol. You put like in
Bailey's.
Bailey's, yes, Bailey's. And yeah.
Someone said that?
Yes.
It's cool.
Exactly, and it's yeah. Of course, I'll go over. Yeah.
Be so much fun. Be so much fun.
Recording of my surveillance camera at home. They do this mental torture, not even mental. They try to gaslight me. Every time they try to make me blame them for the things that they haven't done anything, so they can pretend or make me believe that all these peripheral things, all the things they do to me, is just now as you try to blame us. So you see, there's this, something. I was looking at my phone. It looked like it wasn't charging, but I'm like, no, no, no. I know they want me to create these thoughts to blame them, so they can be like, you see, we did this, right? We did that. No, no, no. That's why I took my time. I looked. I was like, and while I was taking my time, my brain was trying to go there. I was like, nope. That's why I did a thumbs up at the end, because I knew. And when I grabbed my charger, I was like shaking my head. It's like try to signify my camera is like, yeah, they're gonna try to do these things where they're gonna try to gaslight me. So I'm gonna have to review this camera. But this is what they do. They try to gaslight you by any means. All right. Um. So um, there's a lot of video I just showed. I rather just kind of explain a little bit of them. The reason why I'm making these videos this ways now is because I understand that there's everything that's happened to me has happened to others. Things are systematically done. So as things are systematically done, I will continuously bring up the reality that whatever's happening to me has happened to others. I want these people to having to dumb themselves down. Some of them already naturally there. Some of them have to put themselves there. But however they get to that point, I will make sure that they go to that point. Yeah. Of course, I'll go over. Yeah. They're gonna have to understand that what all the things they've done to me has been done to others, and not only they do these things, but they've been doing it for so many in so many faction and being systematic about it. I started off with the testimony of Jackie. This is a trans woman who's no longer with us. She ended up dying, but
disgusting. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't care. I just don't want it. I don't want it in my life.
she was a target individual as they tried to do something. She was a target individual who also dealt with these V2K things, but in these disgusting ways, right? The pedophilia type of torture. She calls it out. It's like they make me think this way, they make me feel this nasty ways. And she said, "There's I don't know if there's neighbors around, there's neighbors around me, and there's neighbors around me, and these neighbors are doing things. I don't know if they're using weapons. I don't know what is happening, but yeah, it's just it's what they do. Actually, matter of fact, I'm like sitting and looking at outside my window. There's barely something I can see, and they're stimulating me. This just shows how, and I'm taking a picture of that because I always put things in perspective. I don't know what this person is. I don't know what this person looks like. I just see a
This technology can be used to sexually manipulate the target. It can make the target feel sexual arousal, or it can
like thing there. Now, as a target individual, you're gonna be manipulated in so many ways, in so many fashions, and it's gonna be, um, it's gonna be something disgusting. And these people think that this is proof, right? Actually, it proves that these people can force you to be manipulated toward anything. These people don't even try to make it smooth anymore. Any object, anything, they can force you to get this nasty manipulation. And Jackie said it herself, where they forced her to have these disgusting pedophilia things. I didn't even know what I was looking at, but because there's a potential, maybe that's a child, or it actually looks like it's a man now. I don't know if it's, they can do all these things, and it's disgusting. And these people have done some of the foulest things. And Jackie has talked about how they do this pedophilia type of torture. And it's the same thing with me. Whatever it is, whatever they want you to be stimulated toward, they'll do it. And then they'll try to make you feel guilty. And say, no, we dared. We dared to make you feel this way. No, you've been systematic.
A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them, I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me, all of the slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags, etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravated the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion.
In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent. Recently, they even started adding moaning and groaning sounds to the V2K and started putting actual creaking sounds directly in the walls to make it sound as though people are having sex, and or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams.
My targeting consists of a lot of people trying to play, try to play feminist. Uh, and you can see there's a lot of women being tortured. You see the face of some of these women. This is not too long ago. And you hear testimonies that not too long ago. Do you hear women talking about how they're being tortured sexually, tortured in different ways? Mariana, best testimonials I've heard because she is very detailed oriented. She talks about exactly what's happening to her, and she says it in a way that.
In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent. Recently, they even started adding moaning and groaning sounds to the V2K and started putting actual creaking sounds directly in the walls to make it sound as though people are having sex, and or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes. Specific foods or things like flowers. Severe sleep deprivation plus so much torture day and night has completely exhausted me and debilitated my muscles. I have seen significant muscle weakness and flaccidity since 2015. Additionally, I experience frequent planted dreams and dream manipulation. 3 years, it has been all about survival, literally, recording showing this unusual form of repeated and often severe torture. This is not something some ointment works at reducing the pain at all, even at its mildest levels, much less at its most profoundly extreme levels. It feels as though you're having your teeth extracted with no anesthesia repeatedly, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow."
It's very understood. She's eloquent in her speaking. She knows how to articulate what she says, and she says everything exactly, in a way that you can comprehend. But the thing that's crazy is initially I didn't believe her. It was like it's just too.
Shot in the face, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the voice to skull, it's a bunch of females, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would?
It's not. It's too much. As right now they try to do something. It's too much. I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was just too much. Like nobody's been tortured this way. But that's what they do. They do the same things to me. A lot of the things that she talks about is literally the same thing I'm going through. She describes some of the torture that is so exactly what I'm going through. It's insane. Because like I can now I believe it. She talked about how her arm got numb and all this lungs and breathing and how they do these vibrations and all. Like wow, it's just too much. Exactly what I'm going through. And she talked about pedophilia type of torture. And I was like, okay, this is just like yes, these people are doing things systematically and they're doing this to a woman. But not to end there. You hear her talking about how they torture children. I know they torture children. I know. For them to do this pedophilia type of torture, it is obvious that they can do the pedophilia, they can torture people. Torture children. Now, one thing I don't have it here is talk about forced speech, which I can bring up next time, but they make it hard for me to speak. My brain is just being ravaged in so many ways. Not only the radiation, but I know they're doing manipulation, controlling how I say things. It's so tough. You feel like you're being like one of the women Cassandra Lewis said, robotized. I think it's a way to say that, manipulated like a robot, and it's disgusting. You have to, you are forced to just experience just the craziest thoughts, nastiest thoughts. It's just nasty. They manipulate your brain, your thoughts, your everything to degrade you. As I'm making this video.
Disgusting. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting.
It's just crazy. But with me, as you can see, there's a picture of me when I'm a child. They were trying to make me feel feelings that's disgusting. Like the way they do things, sometimes they manipulate memories in certain ways. They add feelings and stimulations of me when I was a child. Stimulations of and try to add sensation. I remember when I was a kid, I would play like wrestling, not even wrestling, and I will lift this kid and just throw it on the bed and whatever, and they come, and they try to add stimulation that weren't there. And mind you, this is me when I'm a kid, because what they're trying to do is like what we do right now. We're matching to you as a child. Mind you, I'm not a child, and we're talking about 8th grade, just hit 14 years old at that moment. Sometimes they go even further younger, like when I'm like 9, 10 years old. Whatever they try to do, their job is like to make you accept these things. Can you imagine? And try to make you accept these things and give you this weird feeling and sensation that you experience today, and try to implant that as a child. It's like, no, we dare to match it to you as a child. No, you're doing the pedophilia things that you've been doing systematically, and you want me to accept these ways of thinking. And then they talk about why I actually do stupid as a child. Now, the stimulation, the sensation, the things they put there, that's the things they try to implant in my memories and put in these ways. But there's something I actually did as a kid. That's embarrassing. But this is what a kid did. Now, I know these people who talk about the stupid thing I did once as a child, as an idiot kid, which to them, they try to call it being severe, but I know what they just try to hold on to something while they try to, make me subscribe to their prefer things. So this damn thing I did as a kid, they try to make me like feel. I was like, listen, I know how to take this properly. A kid can do stupid thing like that, especially if it's something that you do one time. Now they know that even better than me. They have kids. Some of them have kids, and they understand kids can do kids. And they know better than me. Things. But to them, it's like, oh, you pay now for what you did. Now they know that I know that they torture children. Not only Mariana, as I'm saying that, they're doing things to my mouth to disturb me. Not only, and they make me think of the kid next door where they do the pedophilia thing.
Disgusting, disgusting. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles. Like, this disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting.
Oh, it's so disgusting. They try to just rewire my brain. But not only what they do to Mariana's kids, or that she saw she was teaching, but to other kids. I can bring more testimony of the different torture, the way they decay their teeth, the way they blind them, the way they hurt them, the way they do all these things, even babies.
In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent. Recently, they even started adding moaning and groaning sounds to the V2K and started putting actual creaking sounds directly in the walls to make it sound as though people are having sex. And I or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes. Specific foods or things like flowers. Severe sleep deprivation plus so much torture day and night has completely exhausted me and debilitated my muscles. I have seen significant muscle weakness and flaccidity since 2015. Additionally, I experience frequent planted dreams and dream manipulation. For years, it has been all about survival, literally recording showing this unusual form of repeated and often severe torture. This is not something some ointment works at reducing the pain at all, even at its mildest levels, much less at its most profoundly extreme levels. It feels as though you're having your teeth extracted with no anesthesia repeatedly, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture.
I know these people torture children. So when they're like, no, I know, I don't care, it was severe, as they try to stimulate me there. Somebody's backpack, oh my gosh. And they try to to do these things. It's just nasty. They make you try to accept that, listen, what we're doing to you is a payback for what you did. What you did is like, listen, I know what you guys do to kids. I know what you guys, how terrible you guys, and how mean, quote unquote, you are to children. Some of them are mothers. Some of them have toddlers. Some of them, and they're like, no, you know, for a toddler. Do you understand that Mariana just described what happened to a 7-year-old? What to happen to a 4-5-year-old kid? With add to everything, not only a baby of 4-5 years, but add to the fact that they also have Down syndrome or other mental issues. So they're babies, but babies with even more with handicaps. So you understand? And they want me to block it out. And they try to make me think, oh, baby, they're gonna rape. It's like, no, I'd rather get raped than do what they do. Do you know how much they have to do to block that? And they're like, no, you're assuming we're the same. No way. Well, is it because you torture the same ways? Of course, I know you guys are the same. I know this. You guys torture children too. Now they try to say, no, I did that must no. You see the program you're in, right? The program that entire that gives you the power of God's. This power of God's is applied onto children too. Some of these people doing that to me, I'm 100% sure they've tortured women. I'm 100% sure. No doubt. And they like laughing, haha, they're gonna torture you. It's gonna be the best. At the end, you heard this woman say it's gonna be so much fun because they can't wait for me to be tortured. Because what's happening to me is I'm bringing up reality. These people are trying to block out the fact they torture children. Now they excited.
Be so much fun. Be so much fun. Be so much fun.
About me being tortured because I'm bringing up a day in a day out how to torture children. And they won't be like, oh, it's payback for what you did as a kid. I'm listening to kids being suffocated by this directed energy, by this weaponry. Oh, that they also like, oh, we did that. Oh, what happened to all your fierceness, your anger? What happened to like, oh my gosh? It's like, and it's like, oh, not fair. No, you're part of that. That's fair. It's not fair that you wanted to live this fantasy, talk about your children or your kids or your girls, but you're in a program that torture little girls with autism. It's like now you pay. Oh, wow, what a fierce woman! If the fiercest people that are torturing children, and they want to talk about, oh, you're gonna get knocked out. They try to disorient me and try to talk about other things because they're trying to counter the fact and the reality that they're in a program where they're trying to make me feel guilty for what I did as a child, while they're in a program that tortured children of all ages, sexually and other ways, hurting them, radiating them. And so it's like, oh, it's not fair. It's fair. Because, of course, I know that people that could do the things that you do to me could do this to kids. It's fair as much as you try to manipulate my brain. And they're like, no, we are at war. You're at war with consciousness. There's no war here. What's the war? Make me think that this makes sense? This is war with logic. Today, there's kids that you guys are torturing sexually in other ways. Everybody knows that. This is what Mariana was saying. Mariana, in her testimony, was in 2018. It's like, now we are. Oh, wow. Things change really quickly, huh? Wow. Did you hear the TI Days 2020? I made sure that you listen to all the women talking about what's happening. This is 2020. What happened? In 2020, you guys are still torturing women, huh? So in 2023, you're not torturing children. Yes, you're torturing children. Yes, you're torturing women. I rather get, and they're like castrate. Like, please castrate me. Please castrate me. Please castrate me. You're a coward, low life that in a program that torture a lot of women and children, and so coward that you're gonna see this woman. I was outside. She wanted me to box in this disturbing thoughts. They stimulated me sexually, and they tried to make me think this is how you felt. Ooh, that's what way do. That's what you thought when you were a kid. And she tried to become. Yeah. Yeah.
Get shot in the face, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the voice to skull, it's a bunch of females, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back and allow that to go on? You really think that?
Está loco, and she went back. And the thing is, she wants me to accept the stimulations as if it's happening organically. Because they do this nasty stimulation, as you know, they can control your sexual libido. And then, as they try to do something else, and then try to make you think, oh no, that's how you felt when you were a kid. Can you imagine you standing next to a 30-some-year-old man? It's like, no, oh, this is how you felt when you were 13. When you turned 14. You see an adult person. Imagine if I saw her, she was doing something, and I saw me, hey, this is when you just turned 14. That's how you felt. A grown ass woman. That's why I look at her for what she is. Of course, And you know that the person that I'm me saying that, hey, that's how you felt when you're torturing children and women. Are we different? No, we're different. No, no. I said, no, they're gonna rape you. They live this craziness of reality. They think that I'm gonna let them live the fantasy. Target individuals, I'm depicting my targeting to point out how these people have to dumb themselves down. These people wanted to live this fantasy. They have an ability to try to block out the reality. I'm not doing that for them. They're gonna have to make themselves more and more and more and more and more dumb. Why? Because as they try to come up with these stories, of like, I don't remember what you pay, I'm gonna watch you too. Can you imagine? I'm in a program that do the worst things to even children. And I'm looking at, you're gonna pay for what you did when you just turned 14 in 8th grade. Yeah, what you did, and then they have to exaggerate what you did, stupid things to yourself once, and they in a program where they torture children in every fashion possible, even sexual. And I'm like, you gonna pay? We severe. I said, yes, I know you're severe. You torture children. Then they try to sound menacing. Target individuals. These people have no shame. They have no shame. They even falsify the memories as they try to turn into something else and try to say, you know what you're feeling there? It's what you're feeling now. So what we're doing right now, and to them is like really, it's like, think about it very seriously. Think about it very logical. What you're feeling now is you when you're a child. We match it to you when you're a child. Did you understand how retarded these people are? As they're doing this, they're messing with my fingers. Can you imagine these people? As I'm doing this, they try to do this thing in my hand, which I don't care. I'm going to continue to talk even more. Imagine CIA, DOD, DARPA, full of pedophiles, right? And these people are here. No, we're matching to you as when you were a kid.
Disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
They've been embarrassed in so many ways. That's why they're so excited about my torture, because they had to dumb themselves down to a level that is unbelievable.
So much fun.
At one point they're like, "No, we're now FBI." Everything they do to me have been done to others, and now they try to talk about the other stimulation toward the older kids. I'm like, listen, you do this thing toward teenagers. You hear this woman in Florida has nothing to do with me. I don't know this woman. She specifically talk about how they do this stimulation just like me. They do this program. They make you feel stimulations of some sort of weird feelings, right? And this is Mara. You listen to her, which they try to always change and counter her with some other kid. They try to make me feel something about her. This anorexia look, like it's just sad. And then she says specifically, this group, this organization of goodness, they kind of changed facade. They came in, tried to pretend that they're a family of a group of good people. an organization of goodness, or as she says it. I didn't put that portion in that video. I just wanted to be short. They moved
A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals.
to her. This are the new neighbors. They're supposed to be these good people that are supposed to look over the neighborhood. This is a woman who has children. I think two or plus. I'm not exactly sure, but she says that her children were tortured too. And they started doing this tactic of program of perversion. They started making her feel weird feelings toward children. It's crazy. And right now there's something far away that they try to make me look at, which of course I'm going to take a picture of because they're trying to. So they're trying to get you to subscribe, get you me to subscribe to this thing. When Mara, a woman that I have no idea who she is, says that she they started doing this nasty program of perversion where they made her feel weird, give her a weird stimulation toward this, you know, pets first, a dog, gave him a weird feeling. And she was like, "Oh, this is what they're trying to just break me down." Like the she started laughing at it. It's like I'm never gonna subscribe to that. I'm never gonna subscribe to this. And in my mind, and by the way, they keep trying to mess with me in different ways. They try to mess with me in different ways, but they they mess with her first of all sexually in a weird way where she felt some weird feeling. Like it's almost sexual, and she like this, and you can hear her in testimony. It started off when she was petting her dog. She was feeling a weird feeling, a weird sensation, and then that weird feeling, which is kind of sexual, it was starting to aim that program. She called it program perversion towards people, human beings. As I'm saying that, somebody said, "Poo," try to like discredit me, and they start aiming toward people, human beings, starting with young people, then children.
A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals.
Homosexuals. Me too. They've done the thing with men, which I don't care. It's like okay, like whatever. I'm not. That's not gonna break me down. But they did that to her too, and then they start doing more and more toward teenage kids, having those like at night dreams and program of perversion, as she calls it, at night, kind of training her brain to think in this way. They specialize in these things, but they rewire your brain in these ways, and you have people around you that's supposed to make you subscribe to it. You saw a video of a woman just coming out and saying something and slamming the door. This is a neighbor. I felt bad when I saw her because I think what she. Yeah, it's hurting her to know that there's too much validation that I'll never subscribe to it. She knows, obviously, she's not stupid. She knows that this is the technology and this is what they do. She listened to the testimony. She knows. She's not gonna be like, okay, like I know that that's probably what you see in her eyes is probably anger, and anger that's like why there's so much proof. She wants to live that fantasy so bad that like I can see she almost teary because she wants me to be like, oh, no, it's you. No, I know this is what you guys do. You want me to be thinking this way. You want me to feel the stimulation to be, it's me. No, you guys don't do these things. You guys are different. Every time I look somewhere, they try. That's what they do. They're gonna do everything possible to make me subscribe to these things. And so that's why I saw her. She was like making, you see that? She got try to ask that look. She does all kind of things. And she's funny. She's the one talking about me crazy, but look at this woman. You should see some of the things. Sometimes I can hear her yelling in the hallways and try to do these things. It's like, you see, they always project. Me, maybe I'm losing my mind because I'm being manipulated. My brain is being fried up. This is a woman who sent. Yeah. Yeah. But has to act crazy for this for this program. If she's this grown woman, I heard her yell doing something, make some. I'm like, what the? This grown? How can she even do that? Does she not feel embarrassed? But she does it for the job. These people do these things, and they do it, and they have no shame. To all my target individuals, you gotta be strong because you have people all around you to try to force you to accept these things. This is why I put this video of her. Of course, I blur her. I don't know. She's not. Listen. I'm going wherever I'm gonna go next. If I change places, it's not gonna change. It's gonna be people like her, even more, even loud than her, maybe. So I don't even need to put a picture of her. I just want to show how they do things. She's one of millions, but that's what they do, and you have to be strong because they're gonna do everything possible, and then they try to call themselves feminists. As they do things, they try to be like some feminists. Try to like we protect what? Because you're in a program that torture everybody, including children, women. You see that woman's face destroyed. Listen to this woman talking about why is there so many females. This is what they do. They do all these nasty things to people. They torture.
Get shot in the face, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voice to Skull, it's a bunch of females, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back and allow that to go on? You really think that
people, and they tell you, "Oh, you're gonna starve. They're gonna stretch." You can tell to counter what I'm saying. You know what they're saying? They talk about all the torture that I'm gonna experience, which I 100% believe. I believe all the torture that I'm gonna experience is true, but I'm never gonna subscribe to this. These people are cowards, low life trash that have done so much horrible things, or involved in a program that does so much horrible things. They sold their soul to pedophiles. So that's why I call them, because there's a bunch of pedos in these agencies to feel empowered. If you see who's talking to me, you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, these people enjoy this because look at them. Of course, they would enjoy this."
Disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, "Hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job?" You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
Of course, they would enjoy this. They would enjoy this a lot. Look at them. They would enjoy these moments because they have they like, this is their life. Some of them are just
disgusting. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't.
In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent. Recently, they even started adding moaning and groaning sounds to the V2K and started putting actual creaking sounds directly in the walls to make it sound as though people are having sex. And I or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes. Specific foods or things like flowers. Severe sleep deprivation plus so much torture day and night has completely exhausted me and debilitated my muscles. I have seen significant muscle weakness and flaccidity since 2015. Additionally, I experience frequent planted dreams and dream manipulation. For years, it has been all about survival, literally recording showing this unusual form of repeated and often severe torture. This is not something some ointment works at reducing the pain at all, even at its mildest levels, much less at its most profoundly extreme levels. It feels as though you're having your teeth extracted with no anesthesia repeatedly, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times and sneeze excessively to threaten more sexual assaults. I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual.
Just children, if not children. They don't even know who they are. They're out here trying to make you believe this BS. Yeah, we're matched. We're investigating. Yeah, okay. And I had this neighbor coming out. It's so disgusting because every time I think about him, they're gonna make me think of this little girl. It's so nasty. It's funny. They were making me think about her little girl, his little girl. I was doing something in my mouth, just like sucking my teeth, like making like a face, right? And it's nothing sexual. It's nothing. It's just more like a face making. And they were trying to turn that in this nasty stimulation things, and it made me think of his child. It's nasty. First of all, even this manipulation doesn't even make sense. Me doing this face does not. It's not like a face. I'm interested. Like this crazy. But now they turn this into something sexual to do this pedophilia type of torture. And you see this
Disgusting. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through.
Yeah. Of course I'm over. Yeah. Grown man just walking. He's like, "Hey, how you doing, neighbor?" I'm like, yeah. And I'm saying this, man. I'm like, yeah. Right, they tried to do some nasty. I was trying to wipe my lips because I had saliva on it, and it made me kiss. It's so disgusting. um, so disgusting. But you heard that. So I see this woman. Sorry, I see this man. this grown ass man, trying to make me, try to make me nervous. I'm like, I said Roy Moore. I could see him feel uncomfortable. These people are trash. They know this manipulations is what they do. Right now, somebody comes, she's whispering, "You see that?" Because I was trying to wipe my as I was trying to wipe my lips from the saliva after, because they make me salivate so much. These people are disgusting. Something's happening to my organ, so saliva is coming out of me a little fast. I don't know what exactly is happening, but I'm trying to wipe it off after spitting, and I'm trying to they make me try to do this like noise, right? But it ended up being a kissing in my mouth. It was in my hands. It's so weird. That's the kind of manipulation they do. I know it sounds crazy, but they do these things where they make you feel disturbed. And while I was talking about this man, and now they make me think of this man, they try to make me think of his child. It's just this kind of manipulation. But these people, as they want me to subscribe to these manipulations, they want you to be like, you see, that's normal. Of course, it's not normal. This is not. That's not how normally I react to things. This is not normally how I do things. This is. I can't be like, everything is being manipulated in me to make me feel uncomfortable. They have no shame. And it's like, no, you're crazy. They're waiting for you. It makes no sense. You're just saying that stop talking, believe. Yeah. Because it makes sense. And they're waiting for, like, no, they try to warn you for the torture because they want you to shut up. They want you to stop making sense of things because it sounds more and more like somebody's being manipulated and somebody is me. Even speaking is becoming hard. But I rather say the last word I need to say while I can. I want these people to damn themselves to the point of no return. Or the point of no return. They will do everything possible to make me accept this. It will never happen. They know that.
Disgusting. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles. Like, this disgusting things. Are you sorrow?
I will die never subscribing to this. So now they're going to the torture. They're so excited about it. Did you hear the last part? This is me at my current employer, obviously, is not responsible for me being in this program. But they're involved now. They is so excited because I am giving credit where credit is due. Who's responsible for me being in this program? The people who put me in this program are the people.
One who's saying that joke. This is a serious. No, that person's probably drinking. No, no, too. But it's probably drinking. Like, I was drinking my coffee. There was some comments probably have Belize in it, and that's why I was so excited when they called out for my drug test. It's like, okay, Belize is like it's like, I forgot it's like Irish. It's like a creamy alcohol. You put like in. Oh, Bailey's. Bailey's, yes, Bailey's. And yeah. Someone said that. Yes. Exactly, and it's
who I used to work for the first initially before I moved here. They're not progressive group. They're not. They're people who are involved in politics in so many ways and have provided and given money to even pedophiles for their campaign, as they try to flip it to me. They've donated money to alleged pedophiles after the allegation came out. And so these people want to find like, oh, the people gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you using our knife. You see, like, and they feel special. Or they're gonna hang you with the ropes, our ropes. I'm like, whatever is gonna happen to me, you understand? I was put in this program by them. You can do whatever you want with me because they put me in this program, but you cannot. One who's saying that joke. This is a serious. No, that person's probably drinking. No, no, too. But it's probably drinking. Like, I was drinking my coffee. There was some comments probably have Belize in it, and that's why I was so excited when they called out for my drug test. It's like, okay, Belize is like it's like, I forgot it's like Irish. It's like a creamy alcohol.
You put like in
Bailey.
Baileys, yes, Baileys, and yeah.
Someone said that.
Yes.
Terrible.
Exactly, and it's
Say Roy Moore. You are just the bottom feeder here. And so they're like, oh my gosh, stop saying that. Oh, can't wait to see you be tortured. My torture is not going to make your life any better. Matter of fact, don't worry. I know who put me in this program. That's the reason why you can say Roy Moore. I know you tortured everybody, torture women and children. I know. And while you're watching me, which is probably going to give you more anger, I will continuously bring up the fact that you guys tortured children and women, force people to have disturbing thoughts, makes nonsensical thoughts, disgusting thoughts, and try to make you accept these things. I'd rather be dying this way while you are looking at me, watching me dying, while having to listen to me. Because what I'm doing to these people is I'm not letting them live their fantasy. You heard all the testimonies. You heard the fact that they torture a lot of women. This woman specifically said a lot of these target individuals are women. They're defenseless women. I think her name is Lisa Baker. She calls out the fact there's a lot of women being tortured. Defenseless women. They can do nothing about it. These people do that to them. And they're like, oh, he'll torture you. It's like, okay, I'll be tortured, but I remember that you guys also torture children and women. I'm okay with that. I'd rather be dying like this than live the way they live. I was smelling food from all sides, and this everybody's eating well, I guess. They try to do some nasty pedophilia things. I'm sorry. Excuse me. As everybody's eating well, people, it gave me no appetite. Zero. I'm sure the food they've eaten was good. Knowing that they're eating this food makes me not hungry. I can't even imagine myself eating doing what they do. I remember when I was unhappy working where I used to work, the people who put me in this program, I had money. I was able to eat. My organs were working fine. I would starve myself because I was so unhappy. I had the financial means to eat whatever, but I would eat maybe one meal per day, and not even a full meal. Maybe on weekends I eat two. I would literally starve myself. I lost so much weight, even more weight than currently, and I was able to eat whatever I want. That's what I'm saying. Like I could not do what they do, and I'm glad that I'm dying this way than living the way they live. Of course, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to be in pain. But I'd rather be in pain than having to live the way they live. I don't know. This death have given me dignity, and I know I don't want to be dark and talk about death, but I understand this program does that, pushes people to death, and I know the people who are doing this to me are getting angrier and angrier that I'm bringing up reality. They wanted me to let them live their fantasy. I know they torture children. I know they do perfect type of torture. I know this disturbing things. Matter of fact, right now, I want to wipe my lips, but I know they're going to do some nasty things. They have done so much nasty things to me to make me feel uncomfortable. They're disgusting. And they want you to subscribe to these things. And they use these childlike people who they get so bored in the sense that it's obvious you do the perfect type of torture, but they want to sound like, we are. Believe us. That's how they sound. It's we proved it, we matched it. And they want to be like, oh my gosh, it's so obvious. It's like a frustrated child trying to get you to accept this BS. It's like, no, child. You do the pedophilia type of torture to me. What I'm experiencing is what you're doing to me. You do these things to even women. You've tortured children. You're a nasty low life. You don't know that yet, but you will know soon if you haven't. You will be reimbursed. I'd rather die bursting than live the way you live. You're a coward. You know that already. You're a weak low life. And whatever you tell yourself, I'm never gonna let you live your fantasy. I'll never.
A people better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them, I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me, all of the slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags, etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravated the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion.
I'm not even agitated. They like to use this tone of voice. Oh, they are. I'm like, can you say Roy Moore? And they are. Their job is to make you accept these things, agitate you to the point where you accept these things, and they get mad. For example, I'm going to go in the hallways. They hate these things because I'm supposed to be subscriptive to this. And I'm saying here, there are plenty of testimonials in regard to the pedophilia type of things you do. You understand? These people do these things, and they use these childlike people to make you subscribe to this. I'll never subscribe to this. As target individual, never let them even fantasize about thinking about like this is how it's gonna be subscribed to. That's why they don't like to be seen. You see that poor lady. She's the I don't she's not the only one living in the apartment, but she's the only one like coming out and making herself look crazy. The others don't, because at least this woman at least look more mildly more believable. You should see the people inside that you know. Okay, these people are so full. Yeah. Yeah. BS is ridiculous. To all my target investors, don't subscribe to these things. I will no longer just show my face when I talk about the torments. I will bring testimonies over and over from women, men, and people who've been through these things. I will bring up the fact that when the Vice document came out, right, in 5 years ago, there was this woman, and you can see there, and this is a thumbnail that you're going to see of a woman saying they don't know they can change. Don't know you can change your mind, right? This Vice documents came out in 5 years, 2017, and I think it focused in London or England. And these people say there's people around saying they're being targeted, even manipulated, right? And yes, it's obvious these people are the same people. I'm in the same program where they manipulate your mind, they manipulate your movement, they influence everything about you. It's obvious. I know I'm part of that. Who put me in this program? As they try to do these things. Who put me in this program? The people I used to work for. Now, if I go to England, I'll get the same thing. If I go to somewhere in Africa, that's what's happening. As I was walking, they kind of did some weird thing in my pelvic, which Mariana talks about it too, and they try to stimulate me somewhere. So it's disgusting, but they want you to accept this. But you understand this Vice documentary, the documentary, which have millions of people watch, it's not the only one. This people, this thing is apparently more common than I thought. But you hear this woman say that people don't know that you can have your mind change your mind. This, I will not let them live the fantasy. And they use these same systematic tactics all around the world. And you have this woman who wants you to accept this. It's you. It's like, no, I know you know it's not me.
A notch. They turn it down a lot to um, make it appear as though the thoughts in my head are actually mine, which I know they aren't most of the time, because yeah, these people are very perverse, and they have hatred.
Your job is to make me believe. You're gonna do all this noise campaign. You hear this woman, I did it. Yes, yes. You're part of the program that does these things. Yes. You manipulate people to think in this discussion way. With me, they try to make me think, remember when your kid is, yes, I know this technology, this DARPA technology can change you in every ways, manipulate you. But the interesting part about this DARPA weaponry comes from DARPA. Guess who they caught in the agency? Oh yeah, in 2003, I think, at least according to the to the article, there was this program manager that was downloading child porn on his government devices. Now, this came out, um, was requested 10 years ago. If they want to update, it will take another 10 years. Now, what does he say that people in these agencies can download child porn on their computers, on the government computers? It means that there's an easy
Disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre and so evil.
Ali, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
Sexual conduct. This is one employee of the CIA had sexual contact with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply
it's open for pedophiles to do what they want in this agency, meaning there's a pattern of pedophilia in this agency. They want to dumb themselves down. I'll never let them live their fantasy. With me, they try to discredit me in any ways possible. Even working has become a way for them to try to make me subscribe to their reality. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, you see, we proved it. So what? It's like they expect you to now be a perfect individual, which of course is part of gaslighting. I understand. Every time something happens that has nothing to do, you try to relate to this. Oh, you see, we're just investigating. We proved it. For example, I was working with somebody. Oh, if we use these terms or things, and then and it's like, oh, you see, okay, that's a good idea. In the real world, right? You have ideas. You could go back and forth. Somebody might bring an idea that you didn't think. But what they do is like, oh, if you didn't think of it like that, that means, you see, we were smart. We're so smart that we matched this. Like, no, you have to dumb yourself down at this moment to make me subscribe to this nastiness. However smart you are in this moment to gaslight me, you have to dumb yourself down.